For most of my life, I believed in the official version of history. You know the one. Humans evolved slowly. Civilizations rose from simple farming villages, and technological progress was a steady climb. Stone, bronze, iron, then steam, electricity, and space. It made sense. It was neat. It was safe. But then I started digging deeper, not metaphorically and literally, into ancient mines, forgotten archives, geological layers millions of years old. And what I found wasn't just anomalies. It was a pattern. A growing collection of artifacts so bizarre, so perfectly crafted, so out of place that they don't just challenge the timeline. They shatter it. These aren't conspiracy theories. These aren't blurry UFO photos or fake pyramids on Mars. These are real objects, verified, tested, cataloged. Some are in museums, some vanished. Others were explained away, sometimes convincingly, sometimes not. But all of them share one thing. They don't belong. Today I'll show you 13 of the most compelling, not because I want to prove aliens built the pyramids or that Atlantis was real, though some of these might make you wonder, but because truth should be pursued, not buried. This isn't a fantasy. This is a call to question everything we've been taught. Let's begin with one of the strangest finds from modern Russia, the Anabar Diamond Needle. In 2014, a gold prospector in northern Yakutia, Siberia, was panning through gravel when he spotted something that didn't belong, a tiny, transparent cylinder, about the size of a pinky nail. Not a rough crystal, not a shard. A perfect, smooth, glass-like needle. It looked manufactured. Scientists at the Yakutsk Institute ran tests. Laser spectroscopy confirmed it was diamond. Real, natural diamond. But here's the twist. Natural diamonds don't grow as perfect cylinders. They form as octahedrons or cubes. This was a flawless rod. Even stranger, the surface had a microscopic coating of titanium nitride, a modern industrial material used to coat synthetic diamonds in high-tech manufacturing. Traces of cobalt were also found, consistent with alloys used in industrial machinery. Investigators traced it back to a Soviet-era lab in the 1990s that produced diamond-tipped thermocouples for measuring molten steel. One had cracked during testing, and the fragment was discarded. Over time, spring floods washed it into ancient clay layers, where 20 years later it was rediscovered in a gold pan. Case closed? Maybe. But think about it. If a modern object can end up in a layer millions of years old and look like a prehistoric artifact, what else might be misinterpreted? And what if the next one isn't from the 1990s? Next, the Black Knight satellite. For decades, a myth has persisted that an alien satellite has been orbiting Earth for 13,000 years, silently watching us. The story weaves together Nikola Tesla's mysterious radio signals in 1899, a 1954 Chicago Tribune article claiming 2 unknown satellites were detected, and a 1998 space shuttle photo showing a dark, angular object floating in space. But science has answers. Tesla's signal? Likely natural ionospheric interference. The 1954 report? A misinterpretation, possibly fueled by Cold War paranoia. The shuttle photo? A piece of thermal insulation lost during a spacewalk, catalogued as space debris Neuro 2557 Nero, which burned up days later. Yet the myth lives. Why? Because even a piece of space junk, when seen in shadow against the curvature of Earth, looks intentional. It looks like a sentinel, and in that moment, human imagination overpowers evidence. But here's the real lesson. We are not good at distinguishing the artificial from the accidental, especially when it floats above us in the void. Now, the crystal skulls. You've seen them in movies, in museums, sold as mystical relics, carved from solid quartz, perfectly polished, said to hold the wisdom of the Maya or even Atlanteans. Legends say there are 13, and when united, they reveal a star map or awaken ancient consciousness. But in the 1990s, the British Museum and the Smithsonian subjected the most famous skulls to electron microscopy. The verdict? Modern tools. The surface showed telltale spiral marks from a diamond-coated rotating wheel, a technology that didn't exist before the 1860s. Also, natural quartz would have internal fractures from centuries of hand grinding with sand. These skulls had none. They were machine-made. But one skull, the Pond Mitchell Hedges skull, allegedly found in Belize, still puzzles experts. No provenance, no excavation records, just stories. Some claim it was carved over centuries, using water, sand, and quartz dust. But even that would leave microfractures. Scientists say it's likely a 19th century fake, but they can't rule out one possibility. What if it was made by ancient hands, using a method we don't understand? Because here's the thing. Just because we can't explain how something was made doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means our understanding is incomplete. In 1885, Austria. A coal worker splits a lump of brown coal, and out rolls a perfect iron cube, about an inch wide with smooth faces and what looks like tool marks. The coal layer was over 20 million years old. The cube was sent to a museum, where metallurgists analyzed it. It wasn't pure iron, it was cast iron, with high carbon and slag content, typical of 19th century foundries. A tiny tail on one edge matched the sprue, the channel where molten metal flows from the mold. Most likely a piece of industrial waste fell into a coal cart and was buried over time. But look at it. The faces are too perfect, the edges too clean. And the idea that something so geometric could survive millions of years of pressure without deforming. It's not impossible, but it makes you wonder, could it be a genuine ancient artifact? Probably not. But it's a perfect example of how a simple accident can become a legend, especially when it looks like it was meant to be found. Then there's the flint drill of Illinois. In the 1960s, a farmer digging a basement unearthed a strange object, a flint rod encircled by a perfectly round stone ring. It looked like a modern ball bearing, or a drill bit. Photos spread. It was dubbed the flint hand drill, proof that Native Americans had precision machining long before Europeans arrived. But here's the problem. The artifact vanished. After the owner died, it disappeared into a private collection. No scientific testing was ever done. Archaeologists who've seen the photo believe it could be a worn-down piece of 19th century clay pipe, smoothed by time and erosion into a deceptive shape. But until it's examined, the mystery remains. And that's the power of these objects. One ambiguous photo can rewrite history in the public mind. In Slovenia, 2002. Archaeologists pulled a wooden wheel urn from a peat bog. Radiocarbon dating B100 to 350 years old, or that's older than the earliest Mesopotamian wheels. The wheel was sophisticated. 2 oak pieces joined by oak pegs, with charring on the rim, suggesting it was fire-hardened for durability. It wasn't primitive. It was advanced. Some claimed it rewrote history, that Europeans had wheeled transport before the Middle East, but scientists are cautious. It might not have been for a cart at all, possibly part of a fishing winch or a handcart. Still, the implication is huge. The wheel may have been invented more than once independently. And if that's true, how many other technologies did humans reinvent, only to lose them again? In the Libyan desert, there's a place where the sand turns to glass. The Libyan desert glass. First studied in 1932, this golden translucent material is 99% pure silica, like man-made glass. It's so pure, it's been found in Tutankhamun's pectoral, carved into a scarab. For years, theories abounded. Ancient nuclear war, meteor impact, even alien energy weapons. Modern science points to a massive airburst meteor about 29 million years ago. A city-sized asteroid exploded in the atmosphere, heating the sand to over 2,000 degrees C. It melted, foamed, and cooled instantly, forming a sea of glass. Evidence? Yes. Tiny grains of rhyodite and zircon. Minerals only formed under extreme pressure are embedded in the glass. But here's the catch. No crater has ever been found. Did it vaporize on impact? Was it buried under sand? Or did it explode so high that no crater formed? We don't know. But the glass remains, a silent witness to a cataclysm older than humanity. Now, Edward Leedskalnin's Coral Castle in Florida. In the 1930s, a 5-foot-tall Latvian immigrant working alone moved over 1,000 tons of coral rock, some blocks weighing 30 tons. He built walls, towers, and a 9-ton gate that opens with a single finger. He claimed to know the secret of the pyramid builders. Locals said he used levitation. Kids swore they saw stones floating. After his death, investigators found a tripod made of telephone poles, pulleys, chains, and a notebook full of lever calculations. He used balance, counterweights, and patience. not magic. But here's the mystery. The 9-ton gate rotates on a single 6-inch steel shaft, perfectly balanced. The mechanism is hidden. No one knows exactly how it works. Was he a forgotten genius of mechanics? Or did he know something we've lost? In 1971, France, a fossil hunter named Gaston Leroux found the perfect human molar in Pleistocene gravel, dated to 3 million years ago. That's long before Homo sapiens existed. The media exploded. Was this proof of a lost human race? Lab tests revealed the truth. It was a modern tooth, but coated in layers of calcrete calcidory, mineral deposits that slowly encased it in ancient sediment. Isotope analysis showed it fell into the river just a few hundred years ago. But the idea lingers. If one tooth can look ancient, could others be real? And what if the next one isn't? In Gabon, 1972, scientists noticed something odd. Uranium ore from the Oklo mine had less uranium-235 than it should. It looked like it had already been used in a reactor. They found natural nuclear fission reactors, 17 of them, that operated 2 billion years ago. How? Groundwater seeped into uranium-rich sandstone. The water slowed neutrons, triggering a chain reaction. When it boiled away, the reaction stopped. When it cooled, it started again. This cycle repeated for hundreds of thousands of years. No aliens, no ancient engineers, just nature's perfect conditions. But think about it. Earth built its own nuclear power plants, long before life crawled onto land. In Tatarstan, 1996, geologists cracked open a sandstone block and found a core metal bolt inside, with clear threads. Photos went viral. Proof of prehistoric technology, but analysis showed no metal. It was a fossilized stem of a crinoid a sea lily. Its segmented structure, when mineralized, looks exactly like a threaded bolt. Paleontologists know this, but the public doesn't. And so, the myth grows. In Laos, thousands of stone jars minios, some weighing 10 tons, scattered across the jungle. Legends say giants used them for wine. Pilots in Wdbur thought they were missile silos. Excavations show they were burial urns. Bodies were left to decompose, then bones placed inside. But how were they made? No metal tool marks, no quarries nearby. The precision is unnerving. Were they shaped with abrasives? With lost techniques? We don't know. But their silence is louder than any answer. The Gotchin Klerksdorp spheres and from South Africa. Found in 3 billion-year-old rock, these tiny stone balls have perfect grooves around their equator. Like they were machined. Some call them alien gears, but geologists cut them open. They're dark concretions, minerals that formed around a grain, layer by layer. The grooves? Compression patterns from surrounding rock. Natural? Yes. But the perfection is eerie. Nature doesn't usually make spheres with equatorial lines, but sometimes it does. And then the most profound of all, the Shigir Idol. Found in a Russian peat bog in 1890, this wooden statue is carved with zigzags, lines, and 7 faces. Initial dating, 9,500 years old. Then in 2021, AMS radiocarbon dating pushed it to 12,100 years. That's almost twice as old as Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. From a time when most humans were hunter-gatherers, it was carved with a fire-hardened flint tools. The marks are still visible, but why? The carvings may represent a creation myth, a star map, or a timeline of migration after the last ice age. And why was it broken, buried, and weighted down with stones? If it was just a totem, why destroy it? Maybe it was ritually killed. Maybe it held dangerous knowledge. There are no settlements nearby, no other idols. Just this one, a lone voice from a lost world. We could go on. The Yak gold ring from a 40-million-year-old coal seam, likely lost by a 19th century miner. They nanoscale spirals. In Siberian gravel, probably industrial tungsten shavings. The iron pillar of Delhi, rust-proof due to a phosphorus-rich alloy, not magic, but forgotten metallurgy. Each of these has a conventional explanation. Most are likely mundane, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Our timeline is built on what we've found, not what's out there. We assume progress is linear, but what if it's cyclical? What if civilizations rise, peak, collapse, and their traces are buried, erased, forgotten? The Shigir Idol proves that 12,000 years ago, People were capable of complex art, symbolism, and woodworking on a scale we didn't think possible. The Oklo reactor proves Earth can engineer nuclear reactions without human help. And the Coral Castle proves that one man, with enough patience, can move mountains. So maybe the real mystery isn't the artifacts. It's why we're so quick to dismiss them. We mock the impossible. We demand proof. We laugh at the idea of ancient technology. But every great discovery, fire, flight, the atom, was once called impossible. So the next time you hear about a mysterious artifact, don't just laugh. Look closer. Because sometimes the truth isn't in the textbooks. It's buried in coal, frozen in ice, or carved in wood, waiting for someone brave enough to question the story we've all been told. Thanks for watching. If this made you think, share it. Because the most dangerous idea isn't a fake artifact. It's the belief that we already know everything,